nerdsreviews.com presents Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Yo, we talk about lightsabers, stunning your TV screens, what you want to stream, everything beyond your dreams. Want to talk about movies, sports, or even politics? Go ahead and tune into us, we'll give you all of it. Whatever you're debating, Xbox or PlayStation, Marvel or DC, Mac or PC. Teraflops when the movie drops, gigabytes, chips, RAM, no matter what it is, we got all of it. Welcome to the show.
Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Welcome to Nerds Talking, the podcast. I'm here with Carlos.
Hello.
Johnny.
Hi.
Hugh McCord.
What's up?
And I'm Lafayette. And we are going to cover some awesome topics today, because one deals with religion. Another one deals with your childhood crush, mainly your celebrity childhood crush. I think everybody had at least one. And other topics as we move along here on Nerds Talking, the podcast. Remember, you can reach us at nerdstalking@yahoo.com if you have any questions, maybe some topics, or maybe you want to be on the show. Maybe you've met Bigfoot and you can tell us all about it.
Maybe you are Bigfoot. You want to tell us you're real?
All right, let's start off. Everybody here saw the Netflix. It's another true crime type of show, like the Cecil Hotel one. This one is called Murder Among the Mormons?
Among the Mormons.
Among the Mormons. And the Mormon religion, man, it is very interesting. If you guys ever seen the South Park episode about the Mormon religion? Have you guys seen that?
Mm-mm.
I think so. I mean, they basically make fun of it.
Oh,
right?
yeah, because
from beginning to end, because the creators of the show are Mormon. Were Mormon.
Yeah, or were Mormon. Yeah.
I'm sure they're not welcome anymore.
Yeah, they grew up in Utah, and they the whole Mormon thing. And of course they did the Broadway play, the Book of Mormon, which I heard is excellent. I do want to see that. Anybody seen that? No. I want to see that. That looks really funny. But Johnny, you lived in Utah for a short time.
Yeah,
Did you have any
11 months.
Did you have any run-in with them there, Mormons? Or is it something that is very prevalent in Utah?
Very much so. I mean, alcohol, for example, when you're at a restaurant, when you get beer, it's 3.2%. So it doesn't matter what brand, they regulate their alcohol to 3.2%. And then they're strict on, like, I can't order 2 beers. I need to finish the one in my hand, put it on the table before they bring me another, before I even can order another one. Like, it's very funny. And then Sundays it's a ghost town. Like, everything is closed. Nobody works. In Salt Lake City, it's really clean up until a certain point. I would say a good estimate's like 20 blocks in any direction from the temple. Just clean. Everything's really nice. And once you hit that 20 block range or 25 block range, you're going to see a strip club. You're going to see magazine stores, things like that. It gets dirty.
There are train tracks 20 blocks away from the...
No, you just look for the magazine store.
My question is, what's a magazine store?
It's where they sold porn.
Okay, no, I know. It's just funny to hear somebody say a magazine store.
Right,
that's where you pick up your comic books every week.
Right.
Magazine store.
Yeah.
I like that. That's AKA, porn store, liquor store, and so forth.
But you know, the hypocrisy is, if there's a big national event there, then anybody can buy anything they want to. Because I've covered events, and yeah, all bets are off. If an organization has paid a sum of money that's bringing in a lot of tourist dollars or whatever kinds of dollars, bets are off.
Oh yeah,
what do you mean
the
bets
Winter
are
Games?
Well,
I'm just saying, like
X Games, Winter Games.
Yeah, or like Sundance.
Sundance,
which isn't there. That's in Park City, but
yeah,
those are not the same rules in Park City, for example. But they wouldn't be. I'm just saying a convention, for example, might have different rules within its convention because Utah wants them to come to town paying, with lots of people paying lots of money, and they're going to be able to some degree dictate a different kind of rule, maybe pertaining to their convention, if it's big enough.
Well, I'm going to assume that none of these are taking place in Provo. I mean, isn't Provo like the hub of Mormonism? Or
I think they have the biggest church there, but the temple is in Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
And were you ever approached to convert to Mormonism?
No, when you go to, I took a little tour of the Salt Lake temple, and everyone was really nice, but they were obviously doing their mission, because they had the name tag on and where they're from. And it was interesting, because the person that approached me was Japanese, so her English was kind of bad. I didn't know, like it was like they were outsourcing their tourism.
That's perfect
or something.
That's
but it was still like I mean, it was really nice, really clean. But
yeah, I mean, I've only heard things like about Utah, about how clean it is and nice and well taken care of. But this Netflix show called Murder Among the Mormons is you learn a lot about the religion if you don't know about the religion, and you learn about Joseph Smith and his wild story about the religion and how it started, it came to be. If you don't know, basically Joseph Smith, what year? I don't know what year it was. Was it
only 160 or 70 years ago, right?
Like I was going to say, yeah,
early 1800s.
Yeah, probably the early to mid 1800s. He finds a box with some golden plates in it that he basically translates the word of God, and it's basically the New Testament of Jesus, and how Jesus was that came to America, basically. I think that time,
1823. No, 1823.
Okay, 1823. I think people will believe anything religious-wise, or they may fall into a trap of, this guy did this. Oh, I believe it. Sure. I mean, he's a trustworthy person, and you just, you'll go along with it. Now, Mormonism isn't as widespread as, say, Catholicism, and especially not Islam. But in America, it's prevalent. I mean, there's a temple near you. I'm pretty sure. If there's a Latter-day Saints, then there's Mormons near you. Have you guys had Mormons come to your door before?
I used to play basketball for a Mormon league.
Did you really? What was it? Is it when you were in Utah or elsewhere?
No, this was when I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
So when I got deployed to Utah, I mean,
yeah, you were a number one draft pick. They already scouted you.
Yeah, but BYU is
nice.
Pretty competitive. So
very nice. Yeah. When you went to Utah, they're like, "Yeah, Johnny Lee. Yeah, he's coming that way, fellas. Try to draft him in the third round. There's only 2 rounds. Don't worry, he's good." I used to have a Mormon guy come to my parents' house, and he was a really cool guy, and he'd always talk about basketball. I remember one time he played basketball with us in front of the house. And he was always chill. He only did his whole preaching thing the very first time, and every other time, it's almost like he knew, these neighborhood kids are we're gonna hang out a little bit and play some hoops. And he was dressed too in the white shirt and the tie and the pants, but he wasn't ever pushing like, let me read this passage before we shoot some hoop. It's almost like, let's shoot hoop first. Maybe I'll bring up the J man, but first let me show you the jump man. And so, but it's every Mormon person I ever met, they are super friendly. They're not pushy. They're fairly friendly. They're, other people that come to your door, like the Jehovah's Witness, they're a little bit pushy.
Yeah,
I haven't had that either.
You haven't never had a Jehovah's Witness come to your door?
I think they get close and they feel something and they go.
They feel something.
That one, that door. Let's go to that one.
That's fine. Everybody's had, man. Carlos, you've had a Jehovah's Witness come to your door.
Yeah, but they weren't. I wouldn't say they were pushy. They gave me their pamphlet, the tower or whatever that thing.
Tower. Yeah. No, they're not pushy either.
And it was like, cool, thanks. And then
but they want to read you the Bible when they come to the door. I mean, you're like, and then they want to keep going, and they're like, this, and you don't want to tell them until like 20 minutes in. Oh, I'm Catholic. Oh, sorry to bug you, and then they leave. Like once they hear that word, they just walk away. They're like, "Oh, we're out of here." But as for the Netflix special, basically, it's about an individual. I don't know if anybody's pulled up some info
Mark
on this.
Hoffman.
Mark Hoffman claims to have found some basically lost scripture or even just notes and journals of Joseph Smith
And others.
and others.
People
Yeah.
who knew Joseph Smith.
Yeah. That basically debunk the religion or throw it off course with really a crazy story about the white salamander. But that's not even the main part of the whole documentary. It's the fact that he will try to mastermind the whole I'm going to kill this person, and I'm going to try to fake my own assassination, and everyone's going to fall for it. And I don't know about you guys, but after the first 2 episodes, I thought the church was behind it all. What did you guys think when you guys saw, the first 2 couple episodes?
I was fooled. I was absolutely fooled. I did not see it going where it went. And to your point, if that had been the Catholic Church, they would have squashed everything. They would have bought everything. I was amazed the church allowed it to go as long as it did, published what they published, allowed things to go public that especially the Catholic religion, I think would have just buried instantly. It would never have seen the light of day. I was shocked that the hierarchy of the Mormon Church didn't buy everything that came their way, even if it was what it turned out to be. Still, I was just shocked that they let any of that go public, which made them look silly. The white salamanders just made them look like it was, that Joseph Smith was an illusionist and it was magic and it was tricks. It made the church look stupid. And I was amazed by that. And I definitely did not see what happened in episode 3.
Yeah. Johnny,
what's funny is he might not have gotten caught had he not left the fucking receipt at his house with another name and with the title of the company, like engraving plates, I thought that was pretty funny, and that was their only clue, and then that led to bigger and better things for the prosecution. But he could have gone on for a while.
He's the master.
Very interesting.
Yeah, he's the considered maybe the best forger ever.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, his forging skills. Yeah. And Carlos, were you fooled after the first 2 episodes by this individual that basically faked his own assassination attempt?
No, I did think that the head of the Mormon church at the time, I remember his name, George something or other. I thought maybe he was behind it. I'm like, trying to stop the white salamander letter, even though it was already out there, and any other stuff that the guy was trying to sell. I thought for sure it was the church behind it. Maybe not the church directly, but somebody deep in the church was trying to stop this stuff from coming out. I mean, it was really, if all this was true, it would have damaged the church, It would have rocked it at the core, for sure.
And I thought the same thing as you, that nobody at the head of the church was responsible. It was almost like a lone wolf inside the church was like, I'm not letting this shit come out. I'm going to take care of it myself. I thought the same thing. And the fact that he would basically almost blow himself up to cover his own ass, just that's commitment.
He was actually considering killing himself. He was either killing himself or he was going to use that bomb to kill one of the other guys. And they talked about it in episode 3. So he actually was trying to kill himself, which he tried again.
Well, I don't know if he was. I mean, he told that in the interview with that woman that he was thinking of committing suicide. But I think that car bomb was intentionally made so he wouldn't die, just to make it look like he was a target. That's what I think, because he successfully killed 2 people. So if he really wanted to commit suicide, he could have just hugged that pipe bomb and it would have been over. Just give it a nice little hug.
But he killed 3 people in the end.
No, 2.
No, 2.
No, wasn't it 2 at the office and then 1 at a house? No. The car bombing at the house.
One at the office.
1 at the office.
Only 1 at the office. Okay, and I think he also. Well, I think he killed everyone, not just to, because they probably would have found out. Those people that he killed would have found out this shit's all fake. We're paying this much money for what? But I think it was also to almost enhance the value of that information. Like, this is so valuable, people will kill for it. Now you should pay me this much instead, because he needed money badly. He was drowning in just owing this guy and that guy and spending like he was Bill Gates.
There was nothing in those last set of journals, though. He hadn't had time to forge them.
Oh, yet. Yeah. Remember,
that was the other part.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there.
His whole plan was to write almost like a whole new Bible in a sense.
Right.
And it didn't happen. Johnny, you killed him. Go.
What? Say again? No, what's funny is I've seen enough Dateline and whatnot to kind of figure it out. After 2 hours and Hoffman wasn't being interviewed and you only saw like clips of him speaking previously, you can kind of figure it out. Or like when you're watching Dateline and hey, the person in the orange jumpsuit is really pleading their case. I think they're going to be guilty. I think they're going to be guilty. So
yeah, my thing was
true.
Hoffman. Like you said, you only saw him like little clips here and there, and he seemed like the most important person in the whole thing. But yet, no one was going after him at first. Like, oh, okay, he's in the church. The church, like Hugh said, the church was almost wanting all the information he had.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, they wanted to prove it wrong, of course. And then when they came back, the FBI said, oh, this is real. They're like, oh, my God, what do we do now? Who's this white salamander? And how do we take this magic and convert it into religion? I mean, when I saw the white salamander part, I was like, oh, my goodness, this must have been the worst thing to ever happen to Utah since they found out there is no jazz actually playing in Utah. It's just the team name.
I wonder what in the aftermath, like what happened to the people that verified that said this is definitely genuine, a genuine document. Even the scientists who tested all the paper and whatnot, like how their legitimacy.
They're now teaching at the community college.
Well, look how far they went to find out about the legitimacy, the cracked ink. You're like, what? That's like super scientific Batman stuff. Like, you guys went fully like, this doesn't have cracked ink. Well, this does have cracked ink. Oh, these aren't the same then. You're like, wow, like that is like that's digging deep into finding the truth.
But I was thinking the same thing Johnny was, a couple hours, after the first episode, they didn't talk to the guy at all, Mark Hoffman. So I was thinking either he became a victim of a bomb or he's in jail. That's what I thought. Right.
Because I didn't have any prior knowledge of it. I don't remember.
Right. And then I thought it was
a kid.
I thought it was funny. I may be wrong about this, but the whole first 2 episodes, every time they talked to his wife, it said Mark Hoffman's wife. But in episode 3, I swear they changed it to Mark Hoffman's ex-wife, because now we know he's the guy. So now they changed her title to ex-wife, because I could figure if they would have done the opposite, people may have gone, oh, maybe he's the ex-wife, so she left him. So he might still be alive. You know what I'm saying?
To your point, Johnny, I thought actually he was dead. Mm-hmm. I thought, okay, episode 3, he's going to either have killed himself or been killed. And then they revealed the first guy was not him. And I'm like, all right, well, he's the second person. No, it's not him and not her. It's not him again. I'm like, so what the hell happened to him? I
thought actually it was I don't remember his name, but he was buddies with
Shannon.
The bald guy with the bow tie.
Yeah, Shannon.
Yeah, because he had said something, and they had asked him, "Did you have anything to do with it?" And he said, "And yeah, absolutely no way." And then his eyes started twitching. Coincidentally, I was like, "Oh, that's a fucking murderer! You better run, because there's a bomb under your chair."
Well, the one part at the very beginning when it started, because that's who they talked to first. And when the guy asked him a question, he's like, I won't ever talk about that. I'll never reveal that.
Don't make me answer that.
Yeah, don't make me answer that. I won't. I'm like, ooh, what is that though? What is he talking about?
Right.
Like,
do his voice right though. Can you do me a favor?
Oh, I know.
Can you ask me about that, please?
Yeah.
I don't want to make him out to be a hero.
I don't want to talk about that. I just think
I don't.
He was a very nice gentleman
Want to
at
be
first,
a hero.
and then he made these bombs, and we killed many people. Wait, what? I mean, we didn't. I don't know.
And then he turned out to be like a Playboy type dude back in the day.
Oh, he sure was. Remember when they were like Mark would go drinking like a madman. I would, and I love when he goes like, Mark would be drunk all the time. We'd go out. I would never touch alcohol. Not me. Like,
But I'd watch.
So I know watching somebody get drunk in Mormonism is like watching porn. You know. Oh my God! I saw him get drunk last night. What? Yes, it was wild, dude. He had 2 beers and he
Look
had
at the look
himself
on Johnny's face. He's like, I've never seen that
I
porn.
was like,
before.
no, that's not like it at all.
I've never seen that one.
John's like, I've never seen that porn before.
2 girls, 1 cup, watching.
Yeah.
What?
Magic underwear. What are you talking about?
2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh man,
That's a
I'm
movie. I
telling
think I
you.
saw that. I remember
Yeah.
that movie.
The finale was wild. The finale just was the fact
That's
that
framed on Johnny's wall.
the fact that he did it, and I mean, like I said, give me more of these documentaries on Netflix. I love these things. Like I want to see, the next one that comes about. If it ties to things like religion, it's even more impressive because, like Hugh said, most religions try to shut it down. They're gonna make sure you never find out about anything, and if you do find out, they've paid the victim off so much money that it just goes away. But yeah. This one was excellent. I was intrigued because of the Mormon aspect of it. If it said murder amongst Boy Scouts, I might watch it still, but I won't be as intrigued if it wasn't for the Mormon aspect of it.
The best part for me was the end where they showed his updated photos, because normally I'd be like immediately looking to see, well, what's he look like today? And they showed it. It was great. It was great. Like he looks like a nut today, like just a nut. Like his face is like.
Yeah, I could tell you when I said murder amongst Boy Scouts, Johnny's face lit up and he was like, "What is that? And is it on another streaming channel?"
Yeah. I would subscribe.
He looked
because
nervous to me. I don't know. He's like, "Oh shit, they found me out." Oh my god.
I was just thinking to myself, well, they're obviously going to be really good at tying knots and shit, right?
That's true.
They tie up their victim, but it's in a hex knot, which is
They tie you up, they
That's it.
shove cookies down your throat.
Cookies. That's Girl Scout. That's Girl Scouts.
Oh, they can join too.
Together. They're together.
Do you get your little murder badge for your sash? If you
What do the
Boy
Boy
Scouts?
Scouts sell you? Do they sell? I thought the Boy
Popcorn.
Scouts start. Oh, they sell popcorn. That's
Popcorn.
trash.
They sell you memories.
The Girl
that
Scouts
you
are
need to-
wait, were any of you in Boy Scouts or some type of Boy Scouts?
I was in the Cub Scouts.
Okay, got Cub Scouts 1. Johnny?
I mean,
No, you were in the
Johnny's in the
army.
real Boy
You were in the
Scouts, the
men's
army.
Boy Scouts.
I remember coming back home from basic training, and I was in my uniform, and a Boy Scout troop walked by me. I was like, huh, "That's adorable. You can tie knots. I can murder you, little man. Get the fuck out of my way."
Wow. How about you? Were you ever part of something like that?
I was a Boy Scout, but I
You were
only
a Boy
got to
Scout?
certain level, yeah.
I was a
Yeah.
Beaver Scout. I was a Beaver Scout. I was a Canadian thing. I was a Beaver Scout. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said something else altogether.
Nah, I scout
Yeah,
Beaver. I still scout Beaver.
I thought that's what you were going for. Like, I was in the Girl Scouts, but I ate too many brownies. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I always found the beavers with no hair. But but anyway, yeah, as a Beaver Scout, it was kind of funny. The way that they started every Beaver Scout, we sit in a circle. They give us a little piece of woodchuck, like maybe 2 inches, and then you'd have to go place it in the beaver's mouth. It was so odd. It's very odd. And me and my brother were in the Beaver Scouts. I think I was in it from like 4 to 6 years old, and it was very interesting. But yeah. Hey, another thing too, Johnny, real quick about when you're. Did people ever, when you were in uniform, or people always say to you, "Thanks for all you do," or like something to that effect? Like people said that a lot.
After 9/11, for sure.
Okay.
Before 9/11, it was just like, get out of my way, dude. Like, you don't make
You don't
shit.
matter.
Like, yeah, you don't matter.
I seen G.I. Joe.
After 9/11, like the first person to say, thank you for your service, I didn't know what to say. Like, I had my army shirt on. So, thank you for your service. I was like, my pleasure. I was like Chick-fil-A. My pleasure.
You had no idea. Oh,
Yeah, I had
you
no
did.
idea.
To you held the door open for, and you just had no clue.
Yeah.
You should have told him. You should have told him if shit goes down, get behind me. I got this.
I bring it up because I was in a Burger King, and this was after 9/11. This is probably like, I don't know, like 2013 or something. And this 2 guys were in uniform in line, and the lady went up to him and said, "Thank you for your service." And he was like, "For what?" He's like, "For all you do." And he's like, just straight face looked at it and goes, "All I do is sit at a base down the street all day. I don't do anything, lady."
You know
And I
that's one of
started
those guys that like just kill the dreams. You know, like
but it's not that. I was like, wow, the
it's
truth.
like Barkley. I'm not a role model.
You know,
Fuck your kids.
And you know what I think it is? Too? I think that type of guy has always been on a base. Never done. He's never been on tour. You know what I mean? And
that dude is bitter. Bitter.
He's bitter, but he's also like, lady, I haven't done anything for your freedom. I want to get out of the army as soon as possible. Like, I'm just waiting to, like go back to base and sweep the floor, whatever it is. I got to do at base.
He's probably one of those dudes who's pissed he didn't go overseas. He probably did want to shoot at someone or shoot someone.
I just
pushing paper.
I just was wondering how military people react to always being thanked for their service, and some people maybe just some members of the military just going for what, I.
Yeah, well, those people are bitter. I eat it up because I love attention. So if someone thanks me for my service, it was
should have been like, "Oh man, you really want to thank me? Can you pay for this for me? Can you pick up my bill?"
I mean, you were a star in a Mormon basketball league, so you know what attention's like. So it makes sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I go to a temple today, they show your picture to me.
Tell your story about visiting Vietnam. Weren't you like the tallest Vietnamese guy there? You're supposed to have hell of attention there.
I thought for sure they would make me emperor. I don't think that's a thing, but they were like, I walked into a bowling alley, and I mean, obviously the tallest person there, and I'm gonna say the best looking one too. So they were like,
wow.
all right, this dude, get ready. So I grabbed the ball, and everybody stopped. There's only like 4 lanes to this bowling alley.
Now, are the lanes shorter because people are shorter?
No, they're just it's just a harder sport.
Delete that question.
Are there snakes on the how is it harder?
Just bamboos.
The
and
pins move. The pins.
Yeah,
move.
I threw my ball down and it blew up.
Oh wow!
Because of the booty traps.
Were there landmines on? Wow! They left them there from Nam. Like,
right.
Great.
Wow.
So I went to go.
I didn't know it was in a rice paddy.
All right, enough round eyes. Enough.
You started it.
So
did they release tigers before you threw the ball? I don't know what happened.
How much harder was it? Okay, go ahead.
Well, the lanes were so slippery. I threw the ball and I just scrubbed, hit hard, and then everyone went back to their whatever they were doing. Like, all right,
Okay, never mind. Forget him.
Yeah, we thought we saw our savior, but then I look up and there's a fucking video replay just of me scrubbing. I was like, I hate this place, but I love their technology.
Oh, the best part about that story is, I don't know if you remember this, but us three, you, Carlos, we went bowling one time, and you got so shit-faced. And you did the exact same thing. You ran on and you just fell. You must have been in the air 3 feet and fell flat on your face trying to throw the ball. I remember you threw it backwards one time at me. You were so wasted when you went to go back with it. And we were just laughing. We were laughing our ass off all night.
Well, that must have been the same night he tried to chuck it down the lane like a baseball.
He did. That was the same night.
Oh my god.
Yep. He threw it down the like a baseball and
maybe
bounced.
you should stop playing. Maybe you shouldn't go bowling anymore.
Were we at Country Club Lanes?
Country Club Lanes, man. You were shit-faced.
No, that wasn't me, dog. That was somebody else.
Another Vietnamese guy we know. Oh, too good, man. Too good. All right, let's take a break here on Nerds Talking the podcast. And for all the Mormons out there, you know the truth now. You're safe. No salamanders out there to ruin your life. So from Johnny and all the people in Utah, God bless. All right, people. Nerds Talking the podcast.
Hi there, I'm Megan.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are Crime and Roses.
We are a true crime and Bachelor franchise recap podcast.
Yeah, we're both.
We are 2 Georgia attorneys watching and recapping all things Bachelor just for you.
So we're talking Bachelor, Bachelorette,
Bachelor in Paradise, Winter Games, Summer Games, all the games.
Basically any show that ABC comes up with and forces us to watch, and then we'll release a true crime episode connected to what we've seen on the show that week.
So if you don't like true crime, we have The Bachelor. And if you don't like The Bachelor, we have true crime.
And if you don't like either,
we're probably not the podcast for you, and that's okay.
So if you're into one of those things, both of those things, come check us out as we combine our 2 favorite things into one-stop listening shop for you.
So find us on your favorite podcatcher and on social media at Crime and Roses, and email us at crimeandroses@gmail.com.
Bye. Love you. Mean it.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking, the podcast, here with Carlos, Johnny, Hugh, and I'm Lafayette. And now we're going to talk about the royal family. All right. You know, the royal family is interesting because we've all grown up knowing about it. But when did you learn that the royal family has no actual power? Did you even know that? Did you think they had power over and you did? Okay. You thought so? You still thought till this day they had?
No, I don't know if I thought that they actually. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Until my wife started watching that series.
Yeah.
I realized she has no power.
Yeah.
No, don't bother coming over. The one scene where she was going to go, the queen was going to go to Africa when she was younger, and two of the guys from Parliament were like, no. And she's like, I need to do something. I'm going. And she went, and they were like pissed off. And I realized she has no power.
It's very true. Johnny, do you want the power of the royal family?
He has it.
Oh, does he? Wow.
How do I have it?
Wow.
In your own house?
Because I have
not
no
the
power.
king of your castle? That too.
Because it's all fake and all for show.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. They are government celebrities. That's the funny part, is that the government, they basically, what if America had representatives? Let's say George Clooney and Sandra Bullock were our U.S. celebrities. They weren't movie stars. They were just, put out there to do the charity and go to other nations. They're just almost ambassadors for our country, but they're celebrities. And that's what they are. They're just celebrities. They're just, here's your schedule. Go do all this charity. Go do this. Go shake hands. Go take pictures and this and that. You actually have no power. You just have a fake title, but we have to keep that tradition going. You're paid by the government. Taxpayers pay you to be basically royalty / like celebrities in a sense.
That's the difference. That's the biggest difference, that are paid for by the regular person in taxes.
Yeah, and
that would piss me off to no end. It's not cheap. I mean,
no, their lifestyle is ridiculous, and that's why I think over here people are infatuated with the royal family in the United States because the royalty aspect of it. But nobody really cares. Over here, they only care about the celebrity aspect of it. Over there in England, man, it is. People eat it up. They love it. They think it's amazing. I don't know. From my perspective, I could give two shits. Carlos, do you give any shits?
I don't understand it. Is I guess what I'm trying to say, because I recently Piers Morgan was arguing with someone about it, and he said, don't talk about my royal family like that. I'm sure a lot of British people look at it that way. That's our royal family. But what do they do? I mean, you are paying their salary. You are paying for them to live in these big homes, to travel in these planes, and you work for them. Basically, that's their power. Their power is to make what they call the Commonwealth pay their taxes. And that's how they get their money. They're living off the Commonwealth. That's ridiculous. Why do you bother having a prime minister and a parliament if you have a queen who's supposed to be in charge? I mean, think about it. If there was a war, if a war was to break out, is the queen going to get on her white horse, put on her suit of armor, and charge to the front line?
No. I mean, the thing about the royal family, like you said, I mean, it's all for show. So what's the point of giving a shit if, like, for instance, Harry, he's no longer he's part of the family. He's no part of the royalty part of it, I guess. The monarchy. Who gives a shit if he's labeled prince? Only thing he's going to miss out on is basically the taxpayers' money that he collects as his employment. But his mother left him millions of dollars when she passed away. He's okay. But wouldn't you, I don't know if you guys all saw that interview that Meghan Markle had with Harry, but the fact that he says that my dad and my brother are trapped, and he's not wrong. They're trapped in, they're almost a slave to the system. Like they have to do what they're told.
It's funny. They all live in their fantasy bubble, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to escape that bubble. They don't want to leave that bubble, because if they do, then they themselves become commonwealth. And it's funny that they refer to people who are not royal commonwealth. They're just the commoners, right? And what makes them a royal? I mean, if they bleed and I bleed, guess what? Same color blood, man. Yours doesn't come out gold or sparkly or.
Well, I mean, that's
you know
not what
saying?
royalty is. It's just tradition. That's why it's still there. You know, I think England wants to hold on to that. They want to hold on to, we still have the royal family. And that's why it'll never go away. They just want to hold on to it. The United States has never had royalty, you know. So, I mean, other countries that have royalty are actually people in power. Saudi Arabia, mainly Middle Eastern countries. Those people are still in power. But England, it's just for show at this point. Because what are you going to do? Turn the, what's the palace they live in? The Queen lives in.
Buckingham.
There you go. I mean, it is kind of a museum, but that's all it would turn into. Here's a museum. Oh, there goes so and so. He used to be the prince, and now he works at Starbucks. You know, I don't know. I think it's really interesting. Like you said about Pierce Morgan, who quit his job. Like,
He
don't
was
talk about
encouraged.
don't talk about the royal family. Like really, man. Like,
He's a piece of trash. He's a
He
piece
just
of
took
trash
his,
anyway.
but he just took his ball and went home. Was all he did. He just didn't like being called out on his crap.
Oh, he never does though. He's a piece of shit.
Oh,
He is
that
a
for
piece of
sure.
shit.
That guy's
No
a
doubt
bitch.
about it.
Did you guys ever watch when he took over Larry King? I couldn't stand it. They gave him,
No.
he gave Larry King's job to him, and I was like, why did you do that? This guy is horrible.
He works for the equivalent of Fox News in the UK. I mean,
I know.
it's the same. It's the same business model, same idea. He's the same as Hannity and those kinds of guys.
Yeah. But
he's that.
I mean, do you guys love the fact that the Queen gets to knight celebrities? Because I think that's funny too.
But what does that mean? Who cares if you're knighted?
It would be hilarious if you get knighted and then
do you get to sit at the round table?
When there is a war, Sir Elton John, you're first to battle. He's like, oh shit, I don't. Let me call Benny and the Jets.
Speaking of which, is there anything sillier than the uniforms they wear? Like they've ever been in anything? Like I was looking at a photo earlier. The uniforms at the, like, what's his name? The number 2, Harry or whoever the hell.
Oh.
Number 2, right below the Queen.
Charles.
Bunch of medals and stuff. It's like,
that fella.
Where did you earn those, Chuck? Chuck, where'd you earn those?
They were probably in the military. I know
They are.
Harry was in the. They have to do some time.
Yeah,
at war? In a war situation? I don't think so.
No,
I mean,
but
they're going to be in a war situation surrounded by,
like
the best troops,
security and troops.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's my point. I mean, there's a lot of them, and I don't think he saw a lot of battle. And I don't think
I agree. I feel like the medals on his chest. I remember after 9/11, I saw like an interview from, I think it was a general in the Salvation Army, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?
Hell yeah.
What is that?" I didn't even know that was a thing.
You know, the sad part is that army's still better than the royal family's army. So.
Salvation Army.
Because
Yeah,
at least I can get a used Guns N' Roses T-shirt from them. So. I think if they took a vote, like in England, they said, okay, this vote is to abolish the royal family, it wouldn't happen. I think people would say, you would just waste our taxpayers' money on something else. Why not just keep them around?
Well, I mean, there is some tradition to it.
Yeah.
People want to hang on to that, but I mean, I would compare them to maybe like the Kennedys in the United States. I mean, that family is like royalty here.
That's the closest that we had United States, when the Kennedys were around, and JFK was almost celebrity status back then. Not just president, but also celebrity status. But Hugh has a theory on.
Well, no, I was going to say that I've been to the UK a couple of times, and I loved going there, but I had no idea that there are things besides just the tradition of the royal family. I think there's a degree of racism there, and it's
Absolutely.
more prevalent than I had any idea of. And you could argue that's a theory of tradition, that going back to the way that it used to be, like an element here in the United States would like to have.
Yeah, I've always said this about countries in Europe. Most people are the same culture. They're the same, there's not a melting pot like it is in America. So when you step into Germany, Belgium, so on and so forth, and you're out of place and they know you're out of place, you're gonna be pointed out on that. And in England, man, boy oh boy.
Talking about you, Johnny.
We went into Vietnam and went bowling. It's blacks and especially Middle Easterns. Oh boy. Like in England, they're not high on Middle Easterns coming over to their country.
Who make up more than 50% of the population.
Yeah, which is
by
crazy.
an estimate that I read, 50% or more.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. But that's how it is in England. Like I said, it's different. I pointed this out when I went to Portugal. It's almost like you didn't see anyone but the Portuguese. Even if there were tourists there, you wouldn't even notice. It was like 99 to 1. And that's, believe me, racism is prevalent there. It is. It's not like it's not.
When she says that he told her that somebody in the royal family said, how black are your babies going to be? I have no doubt that was said. No doubt.
I do too, but I also feel like it was probably said to by somebody that's, not very high in the family. But it's still
I'm not saying not the queen said it, but still
no.
Somebody
said
it.
But at the same time, I kind of feel with that whole comment, that was something that Harry may have brought up to Meghan, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's the worst thing you could ever say." Oh, but it was said by the janitor. But still, he works at the palace, so let's make it bigger than it is.
No, dude, I think it was probably some function where it was some level.
It probably,
Somebody said something.
I mean, it could have been his dad. Who knows? Johnny, did your dad ever ask you what color your babies were going to be?
No. I don't know how to answer that.
What?
Oh man, that's the funniest thing. Like, what color your baby's gonna be? Like, oh man, I'm hoping human color. That kind. Like,
you don't have kids, but what is funny, I mean, like, I was.
How do you know that?
I was there for the birth. Well, yeah, none that you know of, but I bet you check that mailbox every Father's Day, huh?
Boom!
Fingers crossed.
Boom!
Fingers crossed.
No, I remember during a high school class. I think it was CPS or whoever does child support came in and taught the class, and they were like, "Yeah, we hand out the subpoenas and shit like that on Father's Day." I'm like, damn, it's cold. Well, and they were like, their argument against that was take care of your kids. I'm like, I agree, but damn, like I felt like they were kind of bitter.
Do you also think the royal family sticks around because this is a whole different thing. Meghan Markle, right? She's part of the family. She's like, she came off like, I don't care about this stuff anymore. I don't want to be in it. But somebody like Kate, she grew up wanting to be in it, wanting to be a princess.
Wasn't she a duchess before that? I mean, she wasn't she didn't work at Starbucks.
No.
She wasn't a commoner like Meghan.
No, she wasn't. She was a duchess. I mean, it's just, that's what I'm saying. I think people over there are enamored with it. They're enamored with, maybe one day I'll be part of that royal family. And I don't know, man. If I was a taxpayer, would I be upset about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Hugh says yes. Carlos, would you be upset about it?
I don't think I would, because I don't know, because it's like we've been saying, it's such a tradition over there that I don't think I would. Unless I was one of those total right-wing guys like you find here in the States. I don't think so. I'd be like, yeah, it's the queen, whatever.
Johnny, you are upset about it, but how upset are you?
I don't think I'm upset. But I mean, like Carlos said, it is about tradition. I mean, we discussed it before, but when people started protesting the national anthem, I mean, that was part of tradition. It's still a part of tradition, and people get very upset when you mess with tradition. So
I wouldn't be upset about it.
You know what they could do is, how about instead of having the people pay taxes for their employment, they sell so much merchandise, just let them make money off the merchandise, man.
Fine with that.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just, I think that just money just funnels right back to the firm.
Johnny's laughing because he has a T-shirt with the Queen's face on it. He's like,
Do you
"Man."
really?
I'm thinking like because she's getting pretty old. Soon she's gonna be a bobblehead. Just
I don't think like you said, if I grew up there, I wouldn't think of it as out of the norm. Like they're there and we pay taxes for them. And if people, like I said, people would say this, they would just say, well, if we cut them off, we'd still be paying the same taxes to go something else. Like they wouldn't lower our taxes. And it's true. They probably wouldn't lower their taxes.
But maybe the taxes would go toward a social service that people actually need.
But they need the royal family.
For what?
For weddings on TV. I mean, hey, you know who needs the royal family? The tabloids. They need the royal family.
Who are they going to put on the money? Like that's that's kind of
in Canada, the Queen's on the money. What is Canada going to do now? Put Wayne Gretzky on the money? Come on.
I said the royal family would still exist with or without the tax dollar, just like the Kardashians exist here, just like the Hills exist
Actually, I do
here.
think Carlos has a point. If they cut them off, they would still exist because it's just sell shit off merchandise. They sell stuff off being celebrity status.
Of course they would. Of course they would.
Yeah. All of a sudden you'd see what is the brother's name? It's Harry and
William.
All of a sudden he'd be hawking products on TV.
Bill and Harry.
They would have shows like Keeping Up with the Royals.
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be a great show. Bill and Hank.
Bill
and Hank.
Good old
the
Bill.
Queen
and
be
Harry.
like, "No, out of my bedroom, out."
Yeah, it's like you can get yourself some Old Spice here. Like I don't know, the royal family. Like I said, for us, we just from across the pond, we just see it as what do you call rubbish? Good old rubbish.
Silliness.
Yeah, but over there, man, it's hardcore stuff. It's I just think it's funny that they are government celebrities. That's what they are. People that don't know, that's basically what they are. Government paid celebrities. Or servants, I guess. You can call them servants. Or you know. Are you guys watched The Crown on Netflix?
Some of it.
Is it good? I heard it's great.
I think that's what the wife
you want to know
watching.
the history of the royals, I guess.
Okay.
But
Johnny?
it's funny how they treat Johnny. Go ahead. Have you watched The Crown?
Maybe you watched The Crown.
No, is that the one? Is Elizabeth Hurley in that one?
Elizabeth Hurley.
No.
What? She's in The Crown? I'm watching.
No, what's her name from keep forgetting Jillian, what's her name? Jillian
Anderson.
Oh, Gillian Anderson is in
she
The
won
Crown.
a Golden Globe.
That's
for,
right.
for playing Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah. She's in another really good Netflix show.
But what's funny is that how they treat different. I do think the level of the racism in the royal family is really high. I mean, if you want to give it a level, is fuck a level? You know, when you tell somebody they're racist, that's fuck. I guess fuck is the highest level you could be, right? Because the way they treated Meghan, or the way she says they treated her, because she's half black, compared to how they treat Prince Andrew. I mean, this guy was friends with Epstein. Yeah, so this guy was, hookers, young girls, whatever. But he kept, I don't know if he has his title anymore, but he kept the income, he kept the security. I mean, he still has all the privileges of the royals. But yet they were really willing to cut off Meghan and Harry, and they just decided to leave. But just the way they treat different family members, and maybe it's because Andrew is in the family and Meghan is an outsider, right? Maybe that's why. But still, I mean, that level of racism in that family is at the fuck level. Totally
What is
fuck level.
If I say racist as fuck, but then I say, man, that guy's racist as shit, where does that go at?
That's like right under fuck. It's right under fuck. So
okay,
it's
then
fuck,
what's below that?
Shit.
So, oh man,
Racist
he's
as hell.
racist.
Racist as hell.
Oh, racist as hell. Okay, and then if I tell you that,
fuck.
let's see, he's racist as Donald Sterling, where does that one go? I mean, that's pretty high. I think
That's not high. That's not as high.
What?
As hell.
No,
shit,
that's
and
not
fuck.
that high.
No.
Really, you don't think
his-
that sounds high?
His girlfriend's black. All he said is,
Well,
like,
she
just
wasn't
don't take
black.
pictures.
She was like half Asian, wasn't she, or something? Or
No,
She was
I'm
mocha
pretty
or
sure.
something.
She was mochaccino, but she.
I don't know. He was pretty racist.
No, that's not. No, he's under hell. He's.
Okay.
But I love the
well,
people that say, "I can't be racist. I got a black friend or something. I got an Asian friend. I got Johnny's here." But those people they have, those friends. They're not racist to those friends, but they're racist to everyone else.
Have
You
you
know what I'm
heard the
saying?
show?
So that
I'm pretty-
doesn't mean you're not
think-
racist. You just
pretty
have
mean
a
to
black
be honest.
friend
I think they're racist to those people as well. They just take it.
behind their back. Sure.
Right. They just take
Sure.
it.
I also think they take it in their face and they just take it as a
They do.
Like
as
they're
a joke.
joking.
'Cause
Hey,
they-
we're buddies. We can joke like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we
yeah,
want to.
yeah.
Because they want to be there. Because the power is there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
true.
because the latest in this before we take a break is, have you guys heard about the latest from the Miami Heat basketball player Myers Leonard?
No.
He was streaming and
Yeah.
he said he
Yes.
called
Something
whoever was-
beginning with a K.
basically
Yeah.
he said bike bitch, but instead of bike it started with a K and it referred to Jews.
And then
put it
he-
together.
Explained it off that he didn't know what that.
He
that
said,
was.
I don't know what that word meant. He
Then why did
just-
you say it?
I would, if I was him, I would have said I meant dyke.
But didn't
And-
Michael Jackson
Which is
get in
just as
trouble
bad.
for
Oh,
that
Michael
as well?
Jackson got in trouble for
Even
putting that in
Spielberg
the
gave him
song.
a shitload of shit for
Yeah.
saying,
He
kick
said,
me, kike me, don't you black or white me.
yeah, yeah. Kick
But
me,
in that
kike me.
instance, I think Michael used it just fine. 'Cause he was using it as a racist thing. Like, kick me, kike me, don't you black or white me.
Yeah,
He's
he
saying,
was
don't treat
saying,
me like a different
like,
person. Treat me like a human.
You don't
So
treat me
Michael
like
Jackson, high five.
you don't treat me like you would treat basically the Jews. Like, don't slander us because we're different. That's what that whole song's about. The whole song's about that. Oh, great song too. But I just feel like, are you offended by things like that? You hear Myers Leonard say that.
Yeah, that's a badass word.
I understand that,
bad.
but what I mean by, are you offended by, are you gonna stop everything you're doing to give two shits about Myers Leonard saying that? Or are you just gonna like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I'll hear worse today walking around.
But
Or I've heard worse from my friends.
But I never heard that word until I heard it in the Michael Jackson song. I never knew what it meant. I never heard it, like I said, ever before that song. So this guy, I don't know who this guy is you're talking about. He said, I'm just now hearing about it.
He's a power forward for the Miami Heat.
Oh, there he goes, Miami. I don't give a shit. So he said
Right.
something, and I don't give a shit. If I saw the story like on Yahoo, the news page, the headline was, what's his name? Something Myers.
Myers Leonard.
Myers Leonard says blah blah blah. I'm going past that story. I don't give a shit. Nothing.
I'm
that he said-
clicking on it because you gotta see if he dropped the N word or not, and then then you see what happens. Like,
yeah. You're right. You're right.
I
'cause
clicked on that. I just wanted to see what he said, and then
I want to know the
he's-
racial slur he said. Exactly. And I clicked it because as a basketball fan, like, oh, Myers Leonard said something. Oh, Myers Leonard spoke. And then you kind of find out he's like, hey, he's on Twitch streaming, and he's like, you blank bitch. You're like, oh. Like for me, I'm like, oh.
I don't. I feel like video games don't
Yeah.
really count because
Yeah,
I've threatened many little
That's what
little
I'm
children.
saying. Like
I've asked
he-
them for their address.
he
So I
said
can
that
murder
he-
them.
like he
because
said
they
that
get
to you.
their ass.
Yeah.
I
Now
should have been
imagine
kicked
you-
off Fortnite a long time
Would,
ago.
would you be
all those
more
kids.
would you be more like, oh my god, I can't believe he said that, if like you were famous and you're like Johnny just said that, like, you stupid little kid, I'll rape your face. Like, holy shit. Like, it's more like shock. Like, what the hell did he just say? And I bet you nobody would be offended. Not even rape victims would come out and go, my God, why would you
No,
say
I
such
mean,
a thing?
I'm sure there's a small group out there that would protest or some shit, but I
Nobody
dropped
would
the
protest
N word
that.
and then said the rest of it.
Yeah, yeah. I
There's
just,
so
I
much
don't know.
trouble.
I
Look at the way they treat Mel Gibson.
I mean, you heard the tape though. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, but those
not-
are drunken rants, right?
But it's not
Well,
that. I
if
just
That's
it's-
not the point, though. I mean, it's still what you really are thinking.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
Drunk
just
no,
this.
this is true.
Right.
thing is-
Drunk straight.
What I wanted to know too is, was he talking to somebody that was Jewish? Because I assume he was.
it
Why would you-
100% has to do with
no,
the
he was
race,
talking to
though.
a cop. He was talking to a cop in the front seat.
What? No. I'm not talking about Mel Gibson.
Oh,
Yeah, no. I'm talking about the basketball player. Like, he's talking to some player, some kid he's playing on Twitch, video game, whatever it is. Is he
Oh, so
referring?
you think he was like giving him like a friendly
No, not friendly. I'm saying was he saying that because the person was Jewish? Like, why
Well,
would
no,
you
I'm not
choose
saying
that.
I mean
slur?
friendly in a way like, say I'm playing Johnny and I know I'm playing Johnny and Johnny. does
No,
something
he said
like,
it very.
Oh, you Asian fuck.
no,
or
he
something
said it
like
kind
that.
of. He said it aggressively.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, was he referring to a person because they're Jew? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very. don't get me wrong. People are going to be offended by that word no matter what. I'm not Jewish. I don't have the connection to it. I hear it and go, "Oh man, you dumbass." Like I'll I'll move past it, but you're a dumbass.
I don't think this is going to last very long. I think if he had
I don't
dropped the
think so
N-word, it would have been over for him. I don't think he could have played in the NBA anymore, to be honest. He would have been
But
out.
how do you even know that word if you don't know what it means? It's not a word you would just. That sounds like a word. I'll just say that. How would you not know? How do you know to write that if you've never heard that? It's not like some bastardization of some other word that's, that you just changed a letter. That's a word that's completely derogatory toward Jews.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the way he used it, I don't know. It's interesting because it's like, is anybody in this room offended by that? Myers Leonard using that, or is it just like, do you look at it as, oh, what a dumbass?
If I were Jewish, I would be.
No, but I'm saying you're not Jewish. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I'm also not black. So when someone uses a word that is derogatory toward blacks, I'm not as offended as somebody I know who might be black.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm not necessarily offended. I look at that as like, oh my God, like what an idiot. Like what? Like I had friends growing up in high school that, were Asian or anything but black, and they use the N-word all the time, and I'd be like,
right, when talking to their peers, even, and not necessarily derogatory, but like, what's up, my
like I have a friend still. You guys know this guy Ryan. He still says it to me when he talks to me. And I'm like, you're still saying that? You're like 38 years old. We don't live in the neighborhood anymore. You're Filipino.
I met an Asian fella, and every other word of his mouth was the N-word. But he was saying almost like kind of gangster, right? And then when I met this guy, before I even asked where he lived, I knew exactly where he lived. And then I asked him later, hey, where are you from? He said, oh, I'm from Elk Grove. I said, I knew it. For some reason, the Asians in Elk Grove think that they're gangster and they got to talk like this all the time. And this guy was like in his mid 30s, if not 40s. And I can't believe he was talking like this. I'm like, what is wrong with you? So every time I'm with you, whenever I hear someone say that or say something derogatory or something, I just shake my head. I'm like, you fucking idiot. At a certain age, you got to get past. I mean, I understand when you're young, you do dumb shit. You do dumb shit when you're young, but grow up, man.
Yeah, no, it's like what I'm saying. I mean, but I'm also the type of person, I'm not offended by much of anything because I also look at things as they're just words, man. I don't give a shit what you say. Like I don't.
That's because you're racist as fuck, not as shit or hell. Just that could be fuck. You're top level racist.
I'm actually Donald Sterling racist. I'm fucking up there. Like, no, I'm not offended easily by things of that nature because I can easily just go like, dude, whatever. You one person, you're a dumbass. Move along. I don't really give a shit about it. Like, you're not going to affect my life by the words you say. You're going to affect your own life, I guess. Like, to me, that's how I look at it. Myers Leonard just affected his personal life. But if anybody out there is offended by him saying that, it's never going to affect your life. Now, if anything, he brought to light that word. Like Carlos said, he didn't know the word till a couple years ago. I don't know when Johnny knew that word even existed. But
I don't know. I'm sure I heard it in the movie or something like that.
Yeah.
It was always derogatory.
If anything, he's brought light to a word of, hey, you shouldn't use that word. Because to be honest, compared to the N-word, do you ever hear the word kike ever? Honestly, let's just be honest. Do you ever hear
it? Like I said, the only time I've heard it is just now when you mentioned this guy.
Yeah,
and a Michael Jackson song. I've never heard this word before.
I'm pretty sure you've all heard people say, jokes referring to Jewish people, typically about money. Like those are like how the stereotypical like Jewish type of thing. You're cheap, you must be this, or like that's typically the jokes about Jewish people. It's like money. They're money related. And I never ever have heard that word used in public ever. But you know why? Because that word is used typically from one Jew to the other Jew. Because that was,
I bet you would come across that more in the East Coast. I mean, there's more bigger communities.
So that word actually is a derogatory word for immigrants that came to America, and they were known as almost like lower class, like Jews in a sense, and then they use that words towards them. And it was
You're
basically
saying it's more of an Orthodox thing. They use it more than
it's more of a like a Jew on Jew crime. That's how that word is typically used. It's not widespread like we know the N word. You know, it's not like you don't hear people that aren't Jewish typically say that word. It's basically like calling another Jew, you know, lower than you, like you're a piece of this in a sense, like, you know, that's just what it is. That's why we don't hear it. We don't hear it. If anything, again, I think Myers Leonard stupidly brought it to light to show people, hey, you shouldn't use that word. Like that word is not something you should ever use like in any way towards, well, a Jewish person, of course, but just in general. But again, if Johnny called me that word, I'd be like, that does, like, what? Like, I wouldn't be offended if Johnny called me that word, because I'd be like, dude, that's out of context. You can, like, you shouldn't use it, but like, what does it, like? And Johnny's called me many, many mean things through my life. So
Sorry.
I accept your apology. So there you go. That's our take on the Royals and racism.
eternally quick
Wait.
to racism.
Real quick, Elizabeth Hurley is in a show called The Royals, and then Gillian Anderson is in The Crown.
She is in. You're right. She is in The Royals. That's right.
So The Crown is what you want to watch if you want to know the history of the royal family.
Yes,
And
I think
The Royals is what you want to watch if you want to look at a hot 50-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's all fictional, right? The whole Royals thing is a fictional show. It's not really based on like The Crown is.
Right.
I think. Hugh, any final words?
No, I don't. I was going to go, but it would be a tangent that'll go for decades.
Man. Yeah.
This is where we insert the SpongeBob voice. 3 hours later.
Yeah.
He was still going.
All right, we'll take a break here on Nerds Talking, the podcast. We'll have one more fun segment for you. So just stay tuned, locked in here on Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Comic Book Wednesdays. Every Wednesdays here on the Nerds Reviews Network, where Lafayette and Carlos talk about comic book movies, break down your favorite superheroes, and tell you to visit your local comic shop every Wednesday here on the Nerds Reviews Network. Comic Book Wednesdays.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking, the podcast. I'm here with Johnny, Hugh, and Carlos, and I'm Lafayette. And growing up watching television, or well, I guess television, because we didn't have social media back in before 2008 maybe. Who when you were growing up, who was like your crush watching television, and you were like, oh my god, like hot stuff right there? Johnny, go ahead. You can start off with Ted Danson, but we'll go from there.
For TV, it was just about any girl. Punky Brewster, fucking
so Lil Moonfry.
Yeah.
What a name.
It's a great name, isn't it?
What was the robot one?
Oh,
Small Wonder.
Small Wonder.
Was it Vicky?
On her too.
Vicky?
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as movies, I think the major one is Tamlin Tomita. She was in Karate Kid 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Super cute. She just burst onto the scene.
I'm looking her up.
Yeah,
and then
she was the best. And then she was in the Joy Luck Club. Really pretty.
Was she back? Is she the one that came back on Cobra Kai?
I think both of them did, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
The older
yeah.
woman.
Yeah, it's the older woman that came back on Cobra Kai. Yeah.
Recently, she was on Picard. As
Oh, I saw. I know.
Okay. Yeah. So you still want to reach out, say what's up?
You know, she's not busy.
And Ted Danson's still alive too. Carlos.
Man, when it came to TV, there was Batgirl for sure.
Oh yeah.
Curves on her, man. She was a Coca-Cola bottle for sure.
But that was kind of weird to watch because when we were watching them, they were already 15, 20 years old, right? Maybe more. Because when did the original Batman?
Oh yeah. No, you're not wrong.
She must. Yeah, when I was. I'm sure. Yeah.
So that was kind of weird to see the reality, like because I had a crush on the smallest Brady, But then by the time
Cindy.
yeah, I thought she was kind of cute, and I don't know, she was older, and I saw like a recent picture. I was like, "Whoa, what is that?"
Ah,
What
you're
is
disappointed. You're
Is that even a human anymore? What is that?
Oh man.
Maybe I should rethink this. But
No, but man, yeah, Yvonne Craig, man, she was hot. And then
was
I'm
hot.
like Johnny, man. Punky Brewster was my television crush, man. I thought she was hot too. I watched that show every week.
Yeah, it
'cause
was
it's
that was
Soleil Moon
that was a
Frye.
good show. And then Hugh, let me guess. Hugh's a little bit older than us. So Hugh, let me guess.
Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene.
And the sad part is you couldn't see her. You can only read about her. And you were still like, I bet you she was hot. She had a lot of guy friends.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Curvy.
Go ahead.
I had to look like just now, like what shows like was I watching? Susan Day. Remember the Partridge Family?
Yeah.
Susan Day was hot.
Mhm.
I think Gilligan's Island was in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Mary Ann.
No, was it?
Mary Ann
Oh, really? Mary Ann.
over
Mary
Ginger.
Ann.
by
Over Ginger.
far.
Oh,
Over
no, you're
Ginger.
right. You're
Yeah,
right.
this one too. Yeah.
You're
I
right.
think she just passed
But it
away
was so
too.
weird that she would be wearing heels in the sand on a deserted island. They would, both of them would be wearing like heels.
Oh, that's true.
Like,
So you found that weird out of the whole show. That was the
Yeah.
part you found.
yeah, that was the part I found.
All the celebrities that showed up and left, but they got left
The Globetrotters
behind.
were there. I think Batman may have showed up one time, but you were weirded out by she's still wearing the heels.
And the chick from the Mod Squad
Okay. Yeah.
who was married to Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
what
I know what
about
you're talking
Barbara
about.
Eden? I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, Dream of Jeannie.
Oh,
Jeannie was
yeah.
hot.
She was automatic.
And I
She
met
was
Jeannie.
automatic.
I met Jeannie like 20 years ago when I was doing camera stuff in LA.
Okay. And there was another one, Annette Funicello. You guys remember her?
What was she on?
Yeah, she was from
She was in the Mickey Mouse Club, but then she
Yeah.
did a bunch of like
she was all right.
Can't be like summer.
Are you saying
movies.
Are you saying you crushed on her?
But no, for me it was no, more like who's the Charles in Charge, the oldest daughter.
Scott
she was also-
Baio? What the-
Nicole Eggert.
he was transgendering
And
at
Scott
the time.
Baio. And Scott Baio.
Oh, when you
Um,
see, well, what about her now though?
No, well, not now. I mean, she was on Baywatch and she was great.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Happy Days. I always thought Joni was pretty cute.
Johnny was kind of cute.
Yeah, I thought she was. But same as you guys, it was Punky Brewster. It was Small Wonder. It's just
Small Wonder was actually kind of creepy when you think about it.
it's a
I mean,
creepy ass show.
What was he doing with that robot at night? He kept her in the closet, right? And his dad made her. It was kind of creepy when you think about
But
it.
he made her because they couldn't have another child, or was it because he had a vasectomy and couldn't reverse it? I don't know the reasoning.
There was
I don't
that
know, but I'll tell
Family
you
Guy
what.
thing on Small Wonder where it was like the dad was a really good guy because he like I don't know, didn't give in to his temptations.
That's
would-
why he
he'd shut her down, and like her mouth was open. He's like, "No, not today."
Horrible. Yeah,
Then you got the Rick and Morty episode where he totally abused that robot. He
If-
went
if
to
you,
town on that robot.
Well, there was another show that was like I Dream of Jeannie around that time. And I can't
Bewitched?
remember.
Bewitched.
Bewitched. There we go. Yeah. She was a winner.
cute. She was
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
cute.
Bewitched.
Some of those Charlie's Angels were. I had a.
Oh yeah.
crush on as
Charlie's
well.
Angels.
You look back though now, they're so skinny. Oh my god, it's like they're
Yeah.
sticks, like six this wide.
Let's see. Golden Girls.
Betty White.
B.
Anyway,
Well, when she was young. Yeah, when she was. Oh, another one is from Wizard of Oz. Always thought she was
Really?
What's her
Dorothy.
name? No, but what
Judy
her name-
Garland?
Judy Garland, man,
Garland.
she had a messed up life. I feel that's just she died young and she looked double her age. She looked horrible.
What about more recent ones like Saved by the Bell?
Oh man, Kelly Kapowski. Yes, good pull, buddy. Good pull. Saved by the Bell. That's a good one. Yeah. Good. Now we just sound like just old nasty people, perverts.
Man, I remember jacking off to Saved by the Bell.
Hey, seriously, when you think about it, we're like, hey, what about this one? Oh yeah, I remember that one was great. Oh man,
Delicious.
I was never late to class. But you know what's funny? Then you would, for me, I would want to see what their evolution was in acting, in a sense. Like, oh, what's Tiffany Amber Thiessen gonna do? Because we only know her as this character. Then she was on 90210 for many years. You're like, oh, okay, and so on. That was always interesting to me to see what they did after, when they like grew up, or what was the evolution of their career. And did you still have that when they got older? Or we now, when you're older and they're also in their 20s and 30s, you're like, that, now I just view you as an actress. I don't really, that doesn't stick anymore, that whole thing.
I would say, I mean, it's tough to say because, probably other than Hugh, like I haven't seen many celebrities up close, but
no, just when you watch like them on television.
No, well, I mean, my point is like I was in the City Walk, Universal Studios, and I saw Alyssa Milano, and this was probably
another
10
good
years
pull.
ago.
Good job on that one. Who's the
and
boss?
She was stupid beautiful. Like she was doing autographs or something like that, but unbelievable. Like even closer in person, it was intimidating. I couldn't even like look at her because she was so hot.
Did you just yell, "You're the boss"? No, you're the boss. She's like, what the heck? But again, another good one. Who's the boss? Yeah, that's what reason. It was a reason to watch the show. Like for some, like for
sure.
Younger boys, you're like, I want to watch Who's the Boss. I just, even the mother, like I want to watch the show. She was hilarious. But yeah, I just think when you watch a show now and you're like, I remember her from, like say Full House, when they redid Fuller House, you almost watch it for nostalgia, but also like, oh yeah, remember what she looked like as a kid, like,
right.
And you kind of like, oh, she didn't age well, but even Soleil Moonfry, they rebooted Punky Brewster.
Did they already do it, or are they going to?
No, they already
started.
It's on the Peacock channel.
Yeah. And she has a documentary on Hulu called 90s Kids.
Oh, really?
Like
okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to check that one out. Even though again sounds like I'm a creep.
Well, what about somebody mentioned it? Was it Dennis that like he signed up for Hulu? Was it he signed up for Disney Plus because of Topanga? Is that right?
That's right. What he told us.
Topanga,
because Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Very
mature for her age.
What about the one from
Wonder Years?
Yes, Wonder
Years. Wonder Years. Kimmy, I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He was quiet. He's looking them all up. Like, God damn it. Who's Mary Magdalene? And then who? What's this?
I had to remind myself of who Topanga was.
Wait, are you talking about Winnie Cooper?
There you go, Winnie Cooper. Kimmy is from Full House. She's an annoying neighbor.
Oh, Kimmy. I was like, Kimmy
Gibbler was all over. Kimmy.
You like that dude?
Good old Kimmy Gibbler. Yeah, I just, like I said, I find it interesting to see what they're doing now, if they even continue the career, or even what they look like now, where you're like, oh, I remember this person, even if it was even if it was a male actor, where you're like, oh man, that show was really good, whatever happened to that guy? You look him up, and of course he died overdose or some shit. But it's that's the interesting aspect of it too. Not, even though, like I said, we kind of sound creepy, but Carlos.
Well, what about now though? I mean, when you look at actors or actresses now, do you go, man, that's a good looking dude, or a good looking gal, whichever, what about now? Do you I'm not saying crush on anyone, but do you still go, man, if only?
No, I don't. My thing is, do you watch movies or television for that reason still? Let's
Depends
say
who's in it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say, for instance, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. Let's say she had a TV show. Would you watch it because she was in it primarily, or would you watch it because it looked like a good show? Or it could be both.
I think if I was in my late teens, early 20s, I'd probably watch it because of her name, because she's in it.
Okay. Yeah. You?
Now, not so much. No, now not so much. More reviews, like how good is the show itself, and then I might be more inclined. Same with other big name actors, though.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Johnny.
I don't know. I feel like any answer I give from the
Mhm.
heart makes me
Yeah.
sound like a total creep.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't want to necessarily say it, but
Mhm.
Too
I have a
late.
friend who
Okay.
feels this way.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us
You're
about your
checking
friend.
for
But
a
I mean,
friend?
if you hear, like I'm sure when you guys heard that Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell, if she was like gonna do Showgirls, like interesting.
I was all over that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing her movies, but then current actresses now, like I would. Alexandra Daddario, she was on Baywatch,
I know what you're talking about. Mhm.
dark-haired one. She was on a couple of the rock movies. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, she's gorgeous. She did a movie recently, and I heard that she might show movies. So I might have watched
So
it.
you signed up.
Oh no, his friend did. His friend
Your
did.
Well, I
friend.
mean, yeah,
Your
my
friend
friend.
Lonnie
Yeah,
G.
yeah.
Yes.
Super
Good old
creepy
Lonnie
guy.
G. That dude Lonnie G's an ass.
But there was like
So
like Femke Jensen. I'll watch something if she's in it because I think she's gorgeous. And the older she gets, she just retains her beauty.
I'm kind of like
He's
you.
hot.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I don't watch things nowadays because somebody might be. I mean, I'm more prevalent to watch it if a male lead is in it and I know he's a good actor. I'll probably be more, let's just say if they announce True Detective season 5 with Matthew McConaughey and he's playing the same character season 1, I'll watch it. But if they mentioned, whatever, name a really famous female actress at the moment, who's I don't know who's the biggest.
Sandra Bullock.
Let's say Sandra Bullock was season 5 of True Detective. I'm not watching because of her. I'm watching because it's True Detective.
Right.
My creepy friend heard that Alexandra Daddario shows her boobies in True Detective season 1.
She does. You're correct. You're right. You know what? You're right. Good old
Yeah,
Lonnie.
you have a creepy friend too.
I know Lonnie G.
You got it.
Good old Lonnie. What's up, Lonnie?
What's up? I mean, you son of a bitch. Quit tricking me.
And Halle Berry is another one. That
I was going
like,
to say Halle Berry in
holy
person.
shit.
She came into a golf store one time, and I was like, "What?" And everybody in the whole store was like, "What the?" And she was dressed down. You're like, "Wow!" Like, okay.
Jessica Alba's good looking in person.
Jessica Alba.
Jessica.
Yeah,
Alba.
that was
Jennifer
my
Lopez.
celebrity crush for a while.
And who was the girl that was in the vampire movies with her?
Kate
husband?
Beckinsale.
Another one.
Oh yeah.
Or are you talking about
yeah,
Resident
yeah.
Evil?
No,
Kate
Beckinsale.
Beckinsale. Although I
Kate
met the girl
Beckinsale.
from Resident Evil, she was cool.
Very
as
pretty.
shit.
Oh, that's
And cool as shit.
Oh, I forgot her name. She does seem like she's really
Mila
cool.
Jovovich.
Jovovich.
We took
There
a
you go.
photo. She was like right here next to and I'm like,
Oh well.
Who's
I
the
can
one
stay,
that
I'll
played,
stay here for a while.
But as far as like male celebrities, they look like they do on film.
Most
George
of the time,
But
yep.
you know
George
why?
Clooney's a good looking man. Brad
it's
Pitt's
also-
a good looking man.
And
Depp
it's
looked the same.
it's it's also the makeup aspect of it.
That's
You
what
know,
I'm talking about.
That's what it
That's
is.
what I'm talking- yes.
Like, the old Hollywood thing is men age great in Hollywood. Like, George
Men
Clooney
age great just in general.
but George Clooney at 70 will still be like, oh, that's a handsome guy still,
Absolutely. That's a
and it'll be
good-looking
different
man.
for women because women, I mean, it's the downside is makeup. If women never wore makeup, you'd probably have a different, almost more of appreciation for like, I guess, beauty. And now I sound horrible. I sound like a total ass. But you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean? It's almost like, wow, without makeup, you're just amazing. Like you should, But then again, I sound like a dick. Just no matter what I say.
That's not a stretch. That is.
It's better than sounding like a creep.
Yeah, and it's
Take
true.
it from
Johnny's
me.
friend.
Johnny's friend Lonnie. Goddamn Lonnie. Let's take one more break. We'll be right back here on Nerds Talking, the podcast. Nerds Talking, every Friday on the Nerds Reviews Network. Subscribe, download, turn on your notifications. We'd like to hear from you, what topics you want us to talk about, or maybe you have a great idea and you want to join the show. Reach out to us at nerdstalking@yahoo.com. That's Nerds Talking, every Friday. Back to the show. Welcome back to Nerds Talking, the podcast, here with Hugh, Carlos, and Johnny. I'm Lafayette. And now we move on to a topic that I think we touched on before, but we have a new cast of characters here from when we talked about this before. Last time was myself, Carlos, and former bandmate Dennis. So
Does he still listen to all this?
He hates us.
Does he hear it when we talk shit?
Let's be honest. Who on this panel actually listens to the show? Show of hands. You don't have to talk. Just show of hands.
Well,
You know, I'll be
verbal. It's a verbal.
I listen to some.
I know, but they might not want to say, "Hey, I don't listen."
Yeah, but
you honestly listen every week.
I'm a narcissist, so I have to hear.
So am I. I listen. This is like 5 times a day.
It's funny. I'll listen. Well, I only listen to it on Fridays when I'm driving for work. But I'll be like, man, that guy's so good. He should be on like major. Like he should be Spotify. Like somebody should.
Why doesn't he have his own show?
Why doesn't he have his own show? And then I'm like,
it kind of depends on what mood I'm in. Like if I want to listen to an idiot, I'm gonna turn on the Flat Earth episode. For sure. If I want to hear someone say, "Oh, you gotta have an open mind," because shut the fuck up. So like,
hey. No, but it's funny. I like how you go back to the same episodes. Like, I want to feel smart today. Flat Earth.
Oh, for sure. It's like if I want to feel skinny, I just get up that friend.
You know what I think is the thing about what you'll do is you listen to all the episodes Dennis is in to go, I feel good about myself.
Oh, it makes me have a lot of confidence in my performance.
Yeah. But I'm neutral, so I don't know about that. I'm neutral about
take a listen, boy. The early episodes are rough for listeners.
They are. That's why if you look at the, I think episode 10, the title of episode 10 or 8, it says the reboot episode. We didn't like how the format was beforehand, so we changed the format to what you have today.
Yeah. I basically told Carlos on a conversation, hey, we're not having any more like question and answer, or there's no format. What do you mean? We're just gonna talk any way we want.
Shoot from the hip.
Shoot from the hip. We'll have topics, but don't hold back and talk about as we did in number 2 of this one, racism and
early episodes made me kind of sad. I'll be honest with you.
but I listened. Yeah, I listened to everything from Taco Tuesday to Comic Book Wednesdays to Nerd Talking and. And I listened back just to go, that one wasn't that great, or you know what, that was a good segment, or Lonnie could have been on this one. He would have been good here. He's very
because this is a creepy episode.
Yeah. So, but let's go to this is a topic we talked about.
Let's get back to it real quick. So who listens? He said he listens, but he listens to the old shows.
Well, he wants.
I mean, I'm catching up, so
he's catching.
I haven't listened to any of our, any of the ones that I've been in.
Oh, because I totally edited you out because you sound like a bad Kermit the Frog, so I had to get you out.
I hope.
Yeah, what do you listen to here?
But
Hugh, do you listen?
I have listened a little bit, but I still don't have. My day sucks because I have horrible service, and it will drift out. It'll just go right out, and then I have to at some point try to pick it up again.
We're not on radio.
Sounds like the professor in Gilligan's Island had a better chance of listening than you do. Jesus Christ.
Well, but that's soon to change.
Don't bring up Gilligan's Island, damn it.
It's soon to change. And I'm just going to say, don't get Metro ever.
Oh, Metro. Yeah. All right. So our topic basically is nerds, the definition of nerd, your take on a nerd, what a nerd was to you when you were younger, what a nerd to you now, what's the perception of a nerd these days? And it seems like it's cool to be a nerd. But go ahead. Anybody jump in. Go for it.
Use that movie because I think that was a pretty decent definition of what nerds used to be. Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
And in that movie, of course, which is that time period, if you were gay, you were considered a nerd. Today, my daughter, none of those, all those kids are not nerds or not, or are, but there's no real definition anymore. I feel like everybody's cool, or you're not, but it seems like you're not cool if you have, anything, if you have negative opinions about anybody else because of, who they are or who they identify as or whatever. And back in the Revenge of the Nerds days, it feels like, if you were smart, you were a nerd. If you were gay, you were a nerd. If you were
musician
weak, you were a nerd. If you were an artist, you were a nerd.
But do you think that only pertains to when you're younger? Because see, we're older. We don't view it that way anymore. Is it just that? Is it just getting older where almost like a nerd is just a way of saying it still was the same back then, but it's like like, oh, what are you doing? I'm reading a book. Ah, you nerd. Like,
Yeah.
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying. My daughter doesn't see that anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not taking it from me. I'm taking it from her.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. For us, it was different growing up. Like you said, we used it as the kid that didn't play sports. Ah, he's a nerd, or the whatever that person did the opposite of what we thought was cool. Like, oh, you listen to rock? No, man, you're a nerd. Like, oh, like automatically, yeah, you're a nerd. But yet, nerd was also taken as, oh, I'm really good at, like I said, math. Nerd. I wish I was a nerd.
I mean, I think it had to do with our images growing up as well. I mean, I'll just take Saved by the Bell. Like Screech was obviously a nerd. But like the females on the show were pretty smart, but because they were pretty, nerds. You wouldn't call them nerds. So,
and you're right about that. A nerd is also an image. It's the suspenders and the glasses and the backpack that's strapped tight to your back that has 10 books in it, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like a nerd nowadays, we'd call Bill Gates a nerd at our age, but we say it almost in a enduring way.
It's almost a compliment now.
It's a compliment now. It's different where like it's nerds talking. The idea was we talked about the upcoming video games and movies, and these are what nerds like to hear and talk about. Then as it evolved, it turned into, at our age, everything's nerdy in a sense. Like we don't view it as a bad thing. It's everyone's, like Carlos talks about Bitcoin, that's some nerd shit.
Yeah,
but that's the shit we all want to be part of. I
gotta
call.
I gotta call. Money,
that's what I'm saying. That you're a nerd. I invest in Bitcoin. Oh, that's some nerd shit. Oh, but that's smart shit. Like
it's a compliment now. There's no doubt about it.
That's
it's
the
a compliment.
difference.
If he makes money.
Yeah.
If he loses money,
and then he goes from nerd to dumbass.
Yeah.
And according to him, he'd be dumb as fuck. He'd be dumb as shit or dumb as Donald Sterling, but he's dumb as fuck. Or dumb as hell. Don't forget that word.
That's number 3.
That's third. That's third.
Isn't hell worse than fuck?
No.
Just in a visual way. In a visual way.
No, because hell is, well, depends who you ask, is not even a real place. Fuck is the top level of anything.
Fuck is a real place.
Fuck is a real place. You can be you know what? I just thought about too. You can be royally fucked. So,
that's right. Royally fucked.
This one's for you, Megan. But nerds, yeah, man. I think it's different, like everybody said, and I do think it's just an age thing. I said, as you get older, you don't view people that way. If you saw a guy in your office that, again, you worked in an office environment, dressed nice every day, like nicer than you, you know it. This guy came dressed super nice, and now it's hipster, right? And he's wearing the glasses and this, that, and this, and he's almost too clean cut. You wouldn't say nerd. You'd be like, oh man, that dude, like. That's what I'm saying. Hipster's kind of
hipster. That's
what? That's true, actually. Hipster is kind of the new nerd when you think about it.
I think it depends on what comes out of their mouth. Like if they spout me like technical stuff, like why Facebook is superior in the certain functions that you can get and algorithms, that's kind of cool. But if the fucking hipster told me like, oh dude, you got to invest in like hemp oils because they really bring out the clarity in my mind, I'm like, shut the fuck up, hipster. Like
it's true.
Obviously you're gonna be moving to Portland soon.
Yeah, it's so true. Hipster kind of is like took over the nerd aspect of how would you
nerds would look at hipsters and look down
call
on
them nerds.
Yeah,
you're
look
a
at
stupid
those
hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I do think nerds, the idea is anybody nowadays falls in the category, even if, let's say, the toughest guy in your neighborhood, but when he goes home, he plays Pokemon with his son. He has that one. He doesn't tell his buddies about it, but he knows how to play it. He knows everything about Pokemon because of his son.
Right.
And that's
He's
kind of
an undercover nerd.
Yeah, his nerd aspect right there. And if it ever came up, he'd probably talk about it. Oh yeah, I know all about Charmander. You're like, what? Odele Vato? What? Like what? What did you just say?
Which is what I said after you just said that. What did you just
What? I said Odelay Vato. That's what a tough guy says to his tough guy friends.
Orale vato.
Oh,
Yeah. And it's not, see, that's one word that's not derogatory when you say that to a friend of yours. So you can say Odelay Vato
one
to your
Odelay or
friends.
Vato or
Either
Charizard.
one. Either one. I think Charizard might be offensive to people. But when
To
you
the
think
white
about
salamander, that's an insult.
well, it's insulting Utah. I should say that for now on if I mean
No, white salamander's the bomb.
To
You see what I
eat?
did there? You see
Yeah.
because
You
they had
remem-
bombs.
Oh,
what
you
was-
tied it all together. Look at you.
Look at this guy.
Oh,
was-
man.
what was he-
Nerd.
Good job, Lonnie.
What was he going to call it before the white salamander, though?
White ding-a-ling dong.
No, frog, right?
Toad. He's going to call it a
Was
toad.
it Toad? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. I was
And a
thinking
toad came up to me
ding-dongs.
and showed me where the gold plates were.
That would have been better. Is that offensive to a Mormon person if you call him a white salamander? I'm going to try it out now.
No, they said they think it's magical. So they were
Not now. That's what I'm saying.
No, then they
no.
were buying
Let's
into
say if you say it now, is it offensive to them?
it. Oh.
Oh, what
I
if,
doubt it.
if
I doubt
Myers Leonard was like, "Yeah, what white salamander, bitch?" people are like, wait a second. Oh, I
think
saw
you-
Netflix. Take that back. Take that back. Oh man, nerds! You guys are all nerds. That's why you're on the show. You're all.
I feel
What
like
is your?
everybody can nerd out in something.
Give me your top 3 nerd. Like, what makes you a nerd? Give me your top 3. Go, Johnny.
My,
You first.
my love for Disneyland.
Yeah, like that's a nerd thing. Okay, what else you got for me? Anything? You gotta have 3, or else you're part of the hipster club.
Oh shit! I love,
No, he doesn't have a beard or a flannel shirt.
Yeah, but he drinks like German IPA or some shit and brags about it.
Yeah, could you imagine me with dreadlocks? Holy shit!
Oh, I hate
Slap
those
the
hipsters.
hell out of me if you ever see that.
So, Carlos, Johnny has to think about his other 2. Carlos, give me your 3. Go, nerds. Go.
3, comic book collector,
Yeah, that's nerdy.
toy and statue collector,
What a loser.
video game player.
God damn you. Hugh, give
And
me 3.
the 4th one would be comic book movie lover.
Yeah. Hugh, go. Give me 3.
Artist.
Artist.
Wait, actor, theater.
I don't think that's nerdy.
In my high school it was.
Well, I don't really view that as nerdy. I know what you're saying, though. Drama club stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Drama club.
Okay, give me
What about
some more.
now? Like, what about now?
That should have been the path that I take, because if you're a guy, like if you're going to theater as a guy, your competition is like a gay dude, like your co-actor or your
Right.
other actors are going to be gay, so you have other females there, like you're going to be the
Wait,
man.
So you assume that it's all like what you see on
This
television.
is this is what I've heard from other actors, on other podcasts that say like they would go to like theater camp, and then they would be
for
the
that
man
reason.
because of options, like
That's a
they're
good.
gonna
That's a
be the
good
man
move, though.
there.
That's a good move. Yeah.
Remember
for
how
sure.
much male cheerleaders were made fun of? Idiots. They were with like 20 hot
I
ass
know, right?
women, holding them up in
This
the air.
still sounds creepy. All of this.
Holding him
All
like
of it.
this.
All of it sounds creepy. Hugh, give me your 3. You can be from the
All right.
past, but give me your 3.
Well, no, that was one of the 3.
I
so
know. You got 1.
cry easily.
Wow.
I do. I have emotional moments.
I don't think that's nerdy though.
I don't
That's
know.
not
That's
nerdy. There's
That's
another
more.
word.
That's
I got
more.
for
Yeah,
you.
it's more like
Yeah.
feminine.
Oh,
I have a derogatory word, but it's not nerd.
Oh no, I know
I
what you mean.
I
White
took Latin
salamander,
in high
bitch.
I took Latin in high school.
That's not nerdy. I took Spanish, and
if
all I learned
you-
was
if
Odelay
you love-
Vato.
If you love Latin, or if you would still quote it, or like, things like that, then yeah, for sure you're a nerd.
Yeah, Ixlay pick.
I do know phrases in Latin.
So basically,
Go
you're
ahead,
not
go.
you don't fall in the nerd category. You kind of like.
I
He's
was
on the outside
considered
looking in.
I was
He's wishing he was
considered
a
a
nerd.
nerd.
I mean, it's a thing. Like nerdy stuff. Like Carlos said, I collect comic books. I play video games. I got comic book statues. I still buy toys and keep them in boxes and look at them and never take them out. Like, oh, this is so cool, but I'll never release you out of your package, you slave in a box.
But I think what
And-
Hugh was doing is what you were saying. I mean, it's your age that defines nerd. Because back in
Yeah.
the day, Hugh, I can see what you're talking about. If you're in band, if you're a marching band or something, you're a nerd. If you were
No
in
doubt about it.
in
No doubt
theater,
about it.
you were a nerd.
I
If-
think it's
you were-
still the same.
if,
Eric.
but,
Bullied.
you know what I'm saying?
You were bullied too.
Yeah. So no, I think what you said was right. It's defined by age. I'm sure, like you said, if little kids are calling each other nerds, it's not endearing like we think it is now. It's derogatory.
I think even in school now, it's still the same as when we were in school. That's what I'm saying. I think it's the same. I think for adults, it's different. I think for kids, let's say you're in 5th grade and you're still called a nerd, you're still gonna be laughed at. She's a nerd. Oh, she's reading a book, or she doesn't want to play it with us at lunch, or he doesn't want to play with. He's a nerd. I think it's the same for kids. I don't think it changes.
Oh no, I think so too. Because my nephew, I play video games with him. He's 12 years old. He will call me a nerd, but not like it's a cool thing. He'll call it to me like
he still
he's
says
making
it
fun of
like
me.
like if he's better than you at whatever video game you're playing and you die a lot, you're a nerd. You don't know how to play this.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, you think a nerd would know how to play this? Like, no, you're a nerd. But you know,
I did
just-
collect coins and stamps.
no, that's super nerdy. Wow, you're back in the club. You are
Oh.
back in the club.
I still have them too.
Congratulations.
You can be our president.
You're the president of the club. Wow.
I still have them too.
That is amazing. You are super nerd.
They were
Hey,
pennies.
Johnny, give me another one because Hugh's in all the way. Like he's certified board member.
Yeah, Johnny's still looking in. He's
Johnny has
outside looking
one.
in.
No, I want to be a nerd. No, I mean collecting baseball cards, and then I mean I didn't collect comic books the way you guys did, but I do remember for about 20 something years I did because I went to the comic book store with you guys one time and they were giving away a free Captain Planet comic book, and I was like, episode 1, or this is
Issue
the
1.
first one. Yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Mm.
But everyone got one when they walked in the door. But
Did you watch anime as a child when it wasn't cool? Because there was a point where anime was
Oh,
not cool,
yes.
and Carlos and I watched a shitload
Still
of it,
watch
and it
it.
wasn't cool. It only caught fire like in the late 90s, maybe mid 90s, but we watched it when it wasn't cool, and it was nerdy to watch Japanese cartoons.
and I feel like it still is.
No, it's mainstream. It's super
It's
mainstream.
mainstream
It's
now.
ridiculous. Like
Mm.
you know what? Anime sold out. Sold out.
What?
It's mainstream.
You're out of here.
You're out of here. I think.
Did you guys ever go to like Suncoast and order a special order one?
Oh yeah.
Was
Oh,
there
yeah.
like after
Yep,
shipping
yep,
and all that, it was like
yep.
$100 to watch some like.
I remember
hour and
going
a
to
half.
Suncoast, yeah, and we're like, yeah, we want to get this certain anime. They're like, it's gonna take like 6 weeks to get here. Like, why? They gotta draw it for me? Like, like, what the hell's going on? So anyway, all right, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. Nerds Talking, the podcast. A bunch of nerds, a bunch of creepy dudes. Watch Netflix, learn about the
Cheerleaders.
Mormons,
Cheerleaders.
cheerleaders. He was all about the cheerleaders and the magical thumb, and so yep. Oh, there we go. Johnny, Punky Brewster, you're all in for the reboot?
Creeper out. I
All
got no more to
right, all
say.
right. That's pretty much our show. All right. So for Carlos,
Bye-bye.
for Humacord,
See ya.
and for Johnny, aka Lonnie G.
Lonnie out.
Say it in your native tongue, Johnny.
You son of a bitch. Every episode.
That was his native tongue. You son. of a-
That is his native tongue, exactly. And he has to call me that, son of a gun. And for me, I'll see you guys later. Have a good week. Next Friday, tune in, subscribe, turn on notifications, download, leave us a review. We'd appreciate it on any platform you listen. 5 stars preferably. And you can reach us at nerdstalking@yahoo.com. Have a good one. See you later.
Taco Tuesdays with Nutso and Chuck the Rap Star. Every Tuesday on the Nerds Review Network. Grab a taco, take a seat, pop a burrito, it's gonna get deep. Subscribe and turn on your notifications, and don't forget to hit that like button.